Louie Salvoni is what you might call old Soho, an old Soho aristocracy at that. He's been working in the coffee industry for over 40 years, and he's been known to be called the Nostradamus of the coffee industry because of his uncanny gift forecasting new developments. What is your favourite coffee machine of all time?
Well, we happen to be sitting in the bar with my favourite coffee machine. It's the Alfama E61. It says legend, it is a legend. It's the look of it, really. For me, it just epitomises Italy, a bar, brings back so many memories.
Things have changed, technically speaking, in the coffee industry.
Really changed. I mean, I came into the industry probably early 80s, and I did have a bit of a tradition. When you say old Soho aristocracy, my mother and father were Soho restaurateurs.
Yeah.
So it was really in the blood, that part of it. And I came into operational side, and I came into the catering side at a time when Italian coffees were in pockets across the UK. So Italian immigrants who had landed in places like Swansea, south coast of Wales, west coast of Wales along the Clyde Estuary in Glasgow, in Edinburgh, and also Middle England, Peterborough, and there were pockets.
So little
dots, and
colonies,
they tried to bring their tradition with them along the way, and part of that tradition was Espresso.
Theatre is an important part of Italian coffee culture.
Really important part, yeah. I mean, I would always say that the Italian is really good at foreplay, yeah?
When it comes to the coffee, I hope delivery as well.
Yes, they could take 20 minutes over an espresso. Now, the drinking of the espresso is probably less than a minute and a half, but it's the ritual of the ordering, the chat, the bartender working, making the coffee, the presentation of the coffee. And they can do that over a very small cup of coffee. We, at the start of the 80s, brought a machine over from Italy, and I remember Covent Garden vividly. We had a custom-built machine with 5 heads on it, and then another one with 3 heads on it, like what we call a 5 group and a 3 group. And it took off. I mean, on a Saturday, we were selling 4,000 coffees.
4,000?
4,000 coffees on a Saturday. I mean, we were open for a long period of time. And this was still at a time when you had to explain to everyone cappuccino is the one with the milk on top, yeah? Espresso is the little one. So not only we had to explain to everyone what it was, but once they tasted it, it took off like a rocket. And so we then decided to put it in all our shops. We did a trial in Croydon, which was really interesting. We had 3 shops in Croydon. Did a trial in Croydon. We had the old Stills boiler there, and we introduced at the same time Italian machine.
When you say shop, do you mean all
Cafe.
Yeah, cafe,
sandwich shop, cafe type place, yeah? We put the price, it shows you how far back we're going, we put the price of the cappuccino, frothy coffee, up to 55 pence. And the coffee from the Stills boiler, the frothy coffee bit, 30 pence. Within 2 weeks, the Stills boiler was defunct. It was only used for tea.
Is it that people could actually appreciate there was a difference in quality?
Yeah, psychologically, you see the machine and you see it's a more expensive coffee. I want a better coffee. And once you can get them into that space, and once they've tasted it, then there was no going back.
Because actually, traditionally, the English find it quite difficult to spend a lot of money on food items in particular, unless they think they're getting something extra out of the experience.
Yeah, and they were getting something extra by the theatre, the aroma.
Hang on. It's an exciting place, Soho, isn't it?
Always has been. Wait till the lights go low. It's really exciting. Well, the pubs started to realise that they want, against the likes of the Costas, the Starbucks and the Caffè Neros, they weren't really producing a good offer. Rather than invest the money in training and education on coffee, quick fix was automation. Now, this cost them a lot more. So what we call fully automatic machines came about driven by the pubs. Now, a fully automatic machine is that I go to the bar, I ask you for a cappuccino, and all you get from me as the operator is that.
It's slightly disappointing, if you don't mind.
It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing in, I would say, value for money as well. So I go like that, and then I say to you, £1.95. Yeah. If I do this and this, that's worth £1.95. So the pubs put this in, because they wanted to alleviate the problems and improve the quality of their offer. And automation came in. So the role of the barista in the pub declined.
So which drove which? Do you think it was technology drove the developments, or was it the market demands that drove the technology?
My opinion is the market demands drove the technology.
Yeah.
The Northern Europeans advanced technology, advanced engineering, there's no doubt about it. And I think the Italians have caught up somewhat, but at that particular time we're talking about is through back in the 90s, they started to change the style of the machines, or at least the way they brewed the coffee, yeah, to make it more authentic. And the other big problem they had is they had to produce automatic milk frothing, because on a traditional machine you have a barista that can do this, yeah? On a fully automatic machine, it's a much more difficult task, much more complicated task. And they became really good at that as well, producing machines that at the touch of a button not only would produce the coffee, but would also produce the foam milk. And then they got clever and said, we'll make it a cappuccino, or we'll make it less air in it, make it a cafe latte, all at the touch of a button.
Yeah.
And that's what the big automated businesses loved, because they didn't have invested so much in staff training.
You said loved. Do they still love that?
They do, but there are, I would say, national chains now that are coming back and doing it the traditional way. I mean, Pret's a really good example. They have a fully automatic machine on the back of the counter. They advertise for baristas. So you say to yourself, why do I need a barista when I do that?
Yeah.
But Pret don't use all the aspects of that fully automatic machine, because they actually manually foam the milk by hand.
They're sort of halfway a house.
They're a halfway house, yeah? And the technology within making the coffee is so good, you could argue, you lose the theatre, but it makes as good a coffee now as
Do you reckon it does?
No, because I'm an Italian, and it's about feeling, isn't it? And experience and ritual. And that is all part of the taste.
Therefore, one last question. Your last cup of coffee on this earth, is it going to be an espresso, or is it going to be a filter coffee?
It's got to be an espresso, because I'm going to need a lot of strength when I face my maker.
Thank you very much, Louie.
Pleasure.